Tonight on CTV, hear about CSU students' thoughts on the ongoing election, as well as the experiences undocumented students have on campus.
Then, as Halloween lurks over the horizon, see how certain Greek life organizations and dorms are embracing the spooky spirit, and learn ways to stay safe over the weekend.
All this and more on CTV, starting now. Good evening, Rams. I'm JJ Mckinney.
And I'm Mattison Brumagim. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight.
A Fort Collins man was just sentenced to 18 years in prison for his part in a fatal DUI crash. 27-year-old Benjamin Eisenberg appeared in court 2 months after pleading guilty to vehicular homicide, vehicular assault, and reckless driving, among other felonies. Eisenberg was arrested in late February after drunkenly crashing into the back of a vehicle, killing the driver, 34-year-old Alana Thomas. Testimonies from friends and families of Thomas, from stories to fellow passenger Tracy Trickey, were heard in the courtroom as the gravity of Eisenberg's actions were made clear. Eisenberg's friends and family were also present at this hearing, coming to his defense by describing him as a, quote, great man who feels remorse for what happened, end quote.
A high-speed chase led to the death of a Larimer County resident who threatened deputies with a knife last Friday night. Just after 10 in the evening, Larimer County officers pursued a man driving a 2005 Honda Pilot along Southeast Frontage Road in Johnstown. One of the deputies used a precision immobilization maneuver to stop the fleeing vehicle. Once stopped, the man emerged from the car and ran towards deputies holding a knife. One of them fired their weapon, striking the suspect. He was taken to the hospital shortly after. However, he quickly passed due to the wounds he suffered early on in the evening. The 8th Judicial District Critical Incident Response Team is currently investigating the case further and will release information once it's available.
Colorado State University is home to students with diverse backgrounds from all corners of the globe. However, those groups may not be the most represented, with their experiences often being disregarded. One of these groups are the undocumented students of CSU, who have much to say about their lives as CSU students. It should be noted that we have kept the names of some of these individuals and their experiences anonymous in order to keep people safe. Over thousands of students attend university every year, some of those students being dreamers seeking a better future. Undocumented students are present on nearly every campus in the country, yet find their voices unheard due to circumstances surrounding their legal status. Now with DACA, the Obama-era policy granting undocumented immigrants who were brought to the United States as children protection from deportation and an opportunity to gain citizenship being judged as unconstitutional, undocumented students want their voices heard now more than ever. We spoke to CSU Group Undocumented officers Gerardo Avellaneda and Jose Hernandez Alvarado about some of their experiences undocumented students face.
I've seen a lot of undocumented students. They're so passionate, they have talents, they have dreams, they have visions and aspirations as any other student. But because they're undocumented, they feel like they're put in this box.
A student and immigrant himself, Avellaneda speaks about the undocumented students' experience firsthand.
Generational student and an undocumented student, and so carrying those two identities with me have really affected the opportunities and what resources are there for me here at CSU.
Abelardo shares the same experiences too, and reflects about why they want to make a difference in the community.
I myself am undocumented. I have DACA, so that's one of the privileges that I hold that I'm very fortunate to have. I knew that when I was asked if I wanted to be in this position to serve as their advisor, that it was really important for me to do that and to dedicate time to giving back to my community and giving back to students who have the same identity as myself.
Both stressed that while the community has to go through a lot because of their situation, students who are undocumented are not alone.
Professors and faculty members, staff members are doing the work to learn what does it mean to serve an undocumented student holistically, right? Not just about making sure that students are passing classes or that students are getting financial support, but how do we make sure that we are bridging the gap, right, for students? How do we make sure that we're setting students up for success?
With enough effort and support, Avellaneda and Alvarado hope that the future of undocumented students across the country will be a brighter one.
Sometimes we're pushed out of our countries, right? because of all, violence, or because of poverty, or because of the lack of education. And when we come here to the United States, our only hope, right, is to reach that American dream, right? And when we're denied that, we're denied both in our home countries and we're denied here.
Being an undocumented student in college can be a difficult experience on top of regular everyday struggles. However, CSU offers plenty of opportunities for undocumented students to get the support they need while remaining confidential. Information on DACA, financial support, and more can be found down on this website for anybody who needs help safely achieving their educational dreams. Universities across the country have to deal with hazing, a concept mainly utilized for initiations.
Our live reporter, Abby Flores, joins us live in the studio with more on how CSU is raising awareness. Abby?
Thanks, guys. Being a part of clubs and organizations in college can give students a sense of belonging. Some people, however, may arrive on campus with the idea that it is okay to be peer pressured for the sake of acceptance. Hazing can cause damage to students' health, and it's had an impact right here on campus. More than half of first-year students come into college having already been hazed. In fact, this is so common that sometimes we don't think about the negative impacts it has on the community.
Hazing is a problem beyond college campuses, so hazing starts sometimes in middle school. In high school, it happens in professional sports leagues after college, so it's a problem in colleges because sometimes it's learned behavior even from before the time that students get here. Also, it causes a lot of problems for student success at CSU.
There is a myth that hazing only happens in Greek life, but it's important to note that it can happen anywhere.
I feel like hazing is really associated with just like sorority and fraternity life, but hazing happens on football teams, basketball teams, clubs that you really want to join, but everybody always thinks hazing and they'll think like sorority or fraternity, So I feel like it's really hard to like try to de-associate from it too, but we do take workshops on it anyway just to make sure that we're being appropriate and trying to get away from that stereotype.
And though hazing is a problem, CSU has many hazing prevention resources and has been doing a great job at bringing awareness.
One of the challenging things about hazing is that it's not just like someone being mean to someone else, it's about belonging in a group. And so that's why reporting hazing can be so difficult. That's why most people that experience hazing don't report it. We have a reporting tool on the CSU End Hazing website that allows people to report, and they can report anonymously, which allows us to pursue accountability for an organization or to interrupt the behavior in a way that still protects the individuals that are in it.
At the end of the day, you have to put yourself first, and if you're joining something and you think you're being hazed or you don't think what's being done isn't appropriate for you, I think you should definitely speak up, because at the end of the day, it's harming you and you want to be successful in life. So don't be scared to speak up, and if you are, go ahead and talk to at least a friend or maybe a faculty member that you really trust, so that way you can get help and seek out on what are your next steps.
Hazing is illegal and a violation of the Student Code of Conduct. To learn more about how to report it, visit endhazing.colostate.edu. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Abby. It's just being in a university like this, you would expect that people are taken care of people would make sure they're okay. So being in a situation where others are really hurting others like that, I can't even imagine it.
Oh yeah, and just the humiliating to be a part of something is just insane to me. But midterm elections are just around the corner, and young voters here in Fort Collins are making an impact more so than previous years. According to rates from the 2020 presidential election, 76% of CSU students voted, compared to a rate of 66% for other schools. A CSU student from Texas, Ash Woodward, said it's necessary for college students to take the opportunity to vote, even on a college campus setting.
We experience life here, because of that, we should be able to have a voice in what goes on. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like maybe the older generations feel differently about that, but I feel like if you're here, really understand what's going on, you should be able to have a word in it.
Woodard said she is not currently registered to vote in Colorado because she is registered in Texas, but it is important to know that out-of-state students are still able to register to vote in Colorado if they have lived in the state since October 17th, which is the requirement of 22 days before Election Day. Freshman students Lucas Vednar and Kobe Napier shared that although they have yet to have the chance to vote in previous elections, their voice is still essential in the upcoming midterms.
Well, I feel like we have a say for a reason, so I'll just say, like, whatever I know, I'll put that to my say, you know.
If there's, like, someone that, like, I truly, like, believe in that has, like, better thoughts on things, like, I'm gonna vote for him.
The Laurie Student Center offers a mail-in ballot drop-off, and that is open 24 hours. If you prefer to vote in person, the CSU Durrell Center is an early voting site on campus, open from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. On Election Day, November 8th, in-person voting hours will end at 7 that evening.
Something smelled fishy to residents in Timnath, where they were woken up by hundreds of dead fish near their neighborhoods, the cause of which was a drainage in the Timnath Reservoir. People across the community raised concerns about the stench that was caused by rotting meat and dead fish along the reservoir on East Harmony Road. The new Cache La Pura Reservoir Company says that this is an unfortunate result of dry years where the irrigation reservoirs were nearly drained due to high water demand. As the water level in the reservoir lowered, fish made their way to the canal, where they were trapped as the water receded. The fish passed on, but their bodies stayed, creating the smell. Colorado Parks and Wildlife visited the canal on Tuesday. While the smell has made some residents uncomfortable, they do not believe that this is an environmental issue to worry about.
The owners of the off-campus student housing development, Union on Plum, is suing the site's architects and builders due to numerous structural issues that led to the apartment complex to close their doors to all residents and cancel all leases in July of 2021. According to the lawsuit, the development company, Humphrey and Partner Architects, gave a written notice to the building's owner back in October 2020, stating a notice from an engineer who worked on the building. The warning expressed a potential engineering issue with the design of the shear walls of the project just 2 years after it opened. MSP Engineering expressed caution, recommending that the building be evacuated in the event forecast wind speed exceeds 70 miles per hour. The lawsuit states the deficient shear wall designs fell far below the standard of professional skill and care ordinarily provided by architects or engineers performing shear wall design in the same or similar locality to Fort Collins. However, when the complex was shut down in July of 2021, a member of the building's ownership company, Dino Dotilio, stated, quote, "The building is safe and was developed and built per plan," disregarding the warning given a 9-month prior to the shutdown. Union on Plum staff declined the opportunity to make comment at this time. Coming up, Adam Carlson will run through the weather for the rest of the week.
Will low temperatures be our trick, or will we be blessed with a treat? Find out after the break. Apologies for that delay, Bams. Welcome back from the break.
Before we transition into our spooktacular section, we have a couple more stories for you all.
If you're anything like me and your sweet tooth tends to stick around all year, even after eating a bunch of sweets during the Halloween season, you may want to know that the Fort Collins Peace, Love, and Little Donut Shop will soon be no more. They will close their doors when business ends at 5 on Halloween night for good. Tuesday morning, the donut shop unexpectedly sent out an email announcing the closure. The email was signed off with a thank you message for the community's faithful support over the past 5 years, expressing that it has been a true pleasure for them to serve you all. The donut shop is known for their unique confections across the nation, with locations across 16 states. After the closure of the Fort Collins location, the Loveland location for Peace, Love, and Donuts will be the only store in the state of Colorado.
Although the COVID-19 pandemic seems as if it has come and gone, the need for research in regard to future disease outbreaks and forecast is growing. At the head is a CSU alum. Dylan George, the operations director for the new Center of Forecasting and Outbreak Analytics, received his doctorate from Colorado State University. George, with the help of his team at the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, plans on utilizing the data skills he learned during his time at CSU to forecast the spread of diseases. The mission of the CFA is to provide health officials with the tools needed to proactively respond to disease outbreaks. This team will forecast the spread of diseases much like meteorologists do for weather.
Cans Around the Oval has done it again. It has reached its $60,000 goal, and they say they have the entire Fort Collins community to thank. It was close, but the local charity was able to reach its fundraising goal due to the large amount of community outreach. Organizers said the funds will help supply around 120,000 meals through the Larimer County food banks. The food drive started last month with the goal of collecting thousands of pounds of food for the less fortunate in the community. Organizations from all around Fort Collins, from the CSU Slice office to the Poudre School District, donated in support. Cans has become one of the largest funds and food drives in northern Colorado. With the community rallied around their cause, the contributions to the people of Fort Collins are sure to help during the cold winter months ahead. And with that, it's finally time. Halloween is upon us, and while it's always an exciting time, it can be dangerous.
Our live reporter, Kate Sherman, joins us live in the studio with more. Kate?
Thanks, guys. With Halloween just around the corner, whether you're staying in and watching horror movies, going out, or trick-or-treating, safety is a top priority. With Halloween just around the corner, safety should be a top priority for students here at Colorado State University. I talked to some students around campus to find out how they stay safe during Halloween.
Some ways to stay safe on Halloween is always staying with a group of people, and I also think taking an Uber or Ram ride so you have a safe ride.
Some other Halloween safety tips are always keep your phone on you, know some of the people you're with, be kind but cautious, and trust your instincts.
The main thing I do is if I'm going out, I try and when I get to a location, see where the exits are. If there's a fire or any emergency, it's good to know how I can get out and the safest way to get home.
CSU also offers a number of tips to stay safe this Halloween on their website. Some of these tips include telling a friend where you are or where you're going, and never forgetting that 911 can be a resource in emergency situations. If you're having people over this Halloween, make sure to decorate safely. For example, instead of candles and a jack-o'-lantern, maybe consider using glow sticks to avoid any sort of fire hazard. Always remember to watch out for your fellow Rams and have a safe and happy Halloween. Keep safety on your mind this Halloween weekend and have a happy Halloween. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kate. Now, if you're still searching for something spooky to experience this Halloween without straying too far from campus, you are in luck.
The CSU's National Residence Hall honoree is brewing a chilling experience in the halls at the Pavilion at Lower Village, stirring up their first haunted house for students looking for a scare.
The organization will hold the haunted house tomorrow night at 6, signing off the end of this spooky season. However, this is not the only organization orchestrating haunted houses.
Our future reporter, Zoe Hayman, joins us now with how Greek life is doing the exact same. Zoe?
Thanks, guys. Theta Chi and Kappa Delta here at CSU held a haunted house last Friday to raise money for the United Service Organization. This specific haunted house has been an annual occasion since 2013 for Theta Chi, and I have to say, it was pretty scary.
With Halloween right around the corner, Theta Chi and Kappa Delta hosted Under the Big Top, where members of their organizations got ready to scare for a good cause.
My name's Kagan Baker. I am the philanthropy chair for Theta Chi Fraternity Delta Eta chapter. So Under the Big Top is our fall philanthropy. We do a haunted house every year, and that haunted house theme this year is Under the Big Top because we wanted to do a circus theme. As you can see, I am the ringmaster.
Theta Chi has been putting on haunted houses since 2013 in order to fundraise for the USO.
The United Service Organization is an organization that helps active duty military and their families.
Putting on events like this haunted house is the backbone of raising money for their philanthropy.
Philanthropy is important to Theta Chi and to Kappa Delta both because we want to be giving back to the Fort Collins community and the greater community, and we think we have a very important job as philanthropic advisors to do that, especially being in Greek life. I think it's important to remember that philanthropy is fun and it is a great opportunity to do something amazing with your friends like this. I think it's important to show that it doesn't have to be just fundraisers and charity events with old people. It can be college students coming together and putting on crazy makeup and doing this all together.
Even though Theta Chi's Under the Big Top reinforced my fear of clowns, I still can't wait to see what they come up with next year. Happy Halloween weekend, and back to you guys.
Thank you, Zoe. And with that brings us to the end of this spooky edition of CTV News.
Don't fly off just yet, though. Madeline Davis is up next to catch you up on all the latest in sports news. Stay tuned.